What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, people, on this happy Sunday, we are starting a new set, and if it doesn't look familiar to you with this Pokemon and this nickname, I recommend go checking out BDSP because we have the return of Marion today. Marion the Banette. Before we begin, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff, and let's get into it. Little bit of maintenance here. I am re-recording this, and at this time of re-recording, the laptop is starting to turn into a crap top, and the fan is making vibration sounds. So if you hear random vibrations throughout the videos going, after some point in a point in time, yeah, that's why. I'll try to get this fixed as soon as I can. Of course, money's an issue, so we're going to be working with what we got. Yeah, just as a disclaimer there. But in any case, Marion the Banette. We ran one in BDSP. I'll just do the preview here. We ran one in BDSP. That was like, what, 22? So about 3 years ago now. We did a choice band Banette, similar to this, with the replacement being Shadow Claw here for Poltergeist and Shadow Sneak for Gunk Shot. And that team ultimately went 0-5. It is the only team that has gone 0-5 in the record of my channel since doing these Wi-Fi battles. So that's 65 plus battles. At this point, plus or minus the team builder videos, of course. Yeah, so we're here to kind of get our reparations with Marion, and as you can see, Marion is underratedly strong. It is in the ZU tier, so 0 usage, and I don't blame people for not using this mon because it is very middling speed, very middling defenses, a very high attack, but it doesn't counteract all of its flaws here. Although Banette is a very potent Trick Room sweeper, so if you do run a Trick Room team, I do highly recommend the Choice Band Ghost type Poltergeist set because that will nuke just about everything. Go check out those BDSP videos with a Shadow Claw alone. Shadow Claw, Banette was basically carrying the team in offense. Like, we're literally just clicking Shadow Claw and just damaging a lot of things. It was literally a wall breaker, and I think that's what Marion is supposed to be. So yeah, hopefully we can showcase that powerful prowess. Hopefully that carries over into Gen 9, where the power creep was very high. Of course, with the fixes with BDSP, with the fixes and movesets and whatnot, we still have access to Shadow Sneak, but we're gonna run a little bit more different set here. Poltergeist knockoff Gunk Shot, Sucker Punch. Poltergeist is the higher power move than Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak. It is our main stab move of choice. 110 base power with 90 base accuracy, of course, so we can always miss, but the 110 power paired with that 115 attack adamant nature will nuke about everything. I believe it will two-shot most things to a point where rocks will knock them out next turn, or if we have rocks, we will be preventing future switch-ins, so that just goes to show the power of this mon. Knockoff is our secondary move of choice. Knocking off items, it never hurts. Gunk Shot, 4 coverage options, and then we have the Sucker Punch for a priority hit there to catch people off guard, because everyone's always expecting a Shadow Sneak, so Sucker Punch is there to kind of also be that counter to that as well. And if we can outspeed things, then we'll hit very hard with the Sucker Punch as well. Where is my mouse? There's my mouse. The rest is based on support around Marion. Marion is our designated physical attacker. Gamma, making a debut, is our Lowland Muck, running the Assault Vest Poison Touch set, max HP, max attack stat there. A very bulky mon. It is similar to Kumquat's design, except we're not running Curse. If you recall, Kumquat is our regular Muck set. Go check out the Grey Road / Kumquat set in the playlist. Gamma is running Poison Jab knockoff for our main stab options, Drain Punch for recovery because we're running AV, and Ice Punch for ground coverage there. Assault Vest boosts this 100 base SPDF to higher levels, basically making 150 SPDF. And then Poison Touch here is an ability. I think we ran it in the past before, but I'll explain it here. Poison Touch gives us a 30% chance of poisoning with contact moves. So basically, Knockoff has a 30% caveat of poisoning, Drain Punch poisoning, Ice Punch has 10% chance to freeze and a 30% chance to poison, overall 40% chance to do a status. Poison Jab has already a 30% chance to poison, with an extra 30% of poison from Poison Touch activating, so that's effectively a 60% chance of poison. Gamma, a Lowland Muck here, is here to basically spread status and cause some trouble. If we can spread statuses, that'll make it a lot easier for Marion to come in and finish off threats on switch ins. This is addition to rocks from Quagmire as well, so kind of works in tandem with each other. Up next is Vulcan the Slitherwing. We're finally using a Slitherwing. I did record the wrong Vulcan as well, so this is why I'm also redoing this team builder. Vulcan is the defensive Vulcan. This leech life used to be U-turn, so if I turn it into leech life, because I think extra recovery is pretty good, especially because if we can take advantage of photosynthesis, this 135 attack hits very hard, and 135 stab boosted bug move goes a long way, especially keeping this thing healthy. And with the goal of, oh excuse me, I'm yawning during recording, oh my goodness. Especially with the addition of Will-O-Wisp, keeping this thing bulky, being a defensive prowess is going to be very effective on our team. Especially when dealing with tandem with Quagmire being our other defensive wall. So eventually progressively chipping down the team, right? That's what we want to do, get our opponents to be chipped down for Marion to kind of come in and do some damage. Vulcan, again, also hits very hard close combat, will hit everything except ghost types, so we have ghost coverage for that as well. So Vulcan will make a very good mon, a pivot mon essentially, be a good pivot mon. Send it in, take a hit, because we do have the bulk to take hits, and then pivot out to the next appropriate one. You would argue, if you're using it as a pivot, why not have U-turn instead of leech life? It's just for overall long-term longevity too. I think this will also just deal slightly bit more damage to things that resist it, so kind of making a little change. Hopefully it'll pay off for us with Vulcan. Our special attacker, probably most likely our lead, is Kirin the Zapdos. Choice Spec Zapdos, because we don't have Toxic anymore. Choice Spec Zapdos hits hard with his base 125 attack here, running a timid nature to outspeed most things at 100 speed. Terra Blast Ice for both beam coverage, Hurricane for main flying stab, Heat Wave to hit steel types and everything else that resists, and Volt Switch to get the heck out of there. Kirin is again our lead, so if we are in a type disadvantage or in a position where we have Trick Room going up, for example, we'll click Volt Switch to do a hefty chunk of damage before switching out. We are susceptible to Landorus and Fly Scores, of course, so we have Terra Blast Ice there for them. It'll just be a matter of timing, because of course we don't want to hit our Terra too early, right? That's been a flaw overall with my playstyle, hitting the Terra type too early. So if we can, I'm dying again, I apologize. If we could keep that in check, keep our Terra in check, and still fire base 80 power Terra normals, I think we'll still be fine. But yeah, we want to preserve our ice type unless we can definitely use it, because if we have rocks, right, we're already taking a lot of damage. If we have rocks and webs and spikes, Zapdos becomes a liability in that regard, and we don't want Zapdos becoming a reliability. It's a reliable wall breaker as well, so especially with this Hurricane, so we want Zapdos to be healthy and function as a lead pivot. As alluded to earlier, Quagmire, making a return from BDSP, is back, a defensive wall with Vulcan, fully defensive this time around, opposite of Claude, which is Spadef. Quagsire being the defensive, special defense version of Quagsire. So Quagsire is here being the defensive bulk. Rocks to set up rocks, right? Recover, general set, Toxic to spread status as we want to, as preluded to earlier. And then Earthquake is our move of choice for this turn. You can argue why not have Chilling Water, or Scald, or Liquidation. Do we even have Scald anymore? We don't even have Scald anymore. I did see that Snowscape, very interesting. Hydro Pump Surf, but then I'm choosing Earthquake just because we could hit everything a little bit harder, I feel. Especially steel types who come in and wall. Pex doesn't want to come in as well. You can argue I should have put Terra type Poison here. That is probably the better option to fully counter Pex, but we are unaware. Quagsire, we have Haze, so an alternative to Toxic would be Haze. So expect that if we are getting destroyed in the battles. But yeah, it's a simple Quagsire set. Quagsire has one row only to soak up a hit and then set up rocks and spread status. So Quagsire will be here, probably not for the long haul. It is an RU mod, so it is under Clodsire. And I know Power Creep has kind of crippled this mod as well, but Quagsire is still a great mod, so don't sleep on Quagsire. Hopefully we can show its defensive prowess. And then Salt making a return to the channel as well. At least I think. It's essentially it's an AV Gudra, but it's Hisuian and add a steel type to it. No real stat changes. 150 Spadef with the Assault Vest makes this thing extra bulky. 110 special attack. The reason why I don't run Hisuian Gudra over regular Gudra is because, yes, although we are weak to Fairy, we are now adding 2 additional weaknesses with Ground and Fighting, which we don't really want to take, except in this situation where we have some counters to Ground and Fighting. Dragon Pulse Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Ice Beam. Flash Cannon is our other stab of choice, so we might as well have it on there, right? Hits Flutter Mains. We resist every Flutter Main hit really well because of Steel typing and the AV, and we can Terra Steel to be defensive. Flamethrower to hit other Steel types, Dragon Pulse for other stab option, and Ice Beam for ground types. If we can catch ground types off guard, we'll be spamming Ice Beam. This will also be a lot more useful in dealing with Dragon Knights, especially after Rock Chip. If they're not holding heavy duty boots, this will OHKO them. With Steel typing, we also resist the outrages as well. 100 base defense is nothing to sneeze at, so we are going to be I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't really have a preference option. If type synergy between, when I choose the Gudras to use, it depends on type synergy. If we have better type synergy with Steel typing, I'm going to use it. If not, and regular Dragon Gudra works better. I mean, yeah, I have no problem using both. I know they both have different movesets. Like, I know this one doesn't. Oh, do you have Thunderbolt as well? And Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave. Maybe, I don't know. Besides typing, I don't really know the difference between it. I get that matters a lot, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion between the two. I think both are great mons to use. So yeah, maybe the difference is Shelter plus Iron D, right? That's always a thing. But here's the team in all of its glory. I'll stop rambling. Here's the team in all of its glory. If you want anything, of course, check out the Poke page down below if you want to use this team, and come back tomorrow when we start the team battling again. Team tactics, just for a summary. We'll lead off with Kirin as our lead, and most likely kick Boat Switch out of there unless we can nuke things with Hurricanes right away. Send out the appropriate Wall and Gamma, Slither Wing, Quagmire, and Salt, and then have Marion come in to punch holes as an opportunist attacker with the Poltergeist. So if, for example, we have a good type matchup against what's a psychic type? A Gardevoir, right? We have a Gardevoir up there, and we have a type advantage. They'll most likely switch out, right? Probably into something that resists. We can probably full send the Poltergeist and two-shot the nuke the ghost type, the dark type, and go into something else to finish the job. So that's what Marion's going to be, an opportunist attacker, and then our walls will back us up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, all the support. I'll stop rambling now. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow for the battles. Can we avenge that 0-5 record? You gotta come back and find out. Have a great day. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.